say good evening to everybody. We are saying that in order to receive a teaching from the Dorje Tsemo, like Rinpoche, I'm not going through that whole quotation. So, what's it? From the very beginning, where you're going to start, then in order to receive the teaching, at that time, first main thing is you need to look into yourself, means look into your mind, and then stabilize that mind, and then you receive, listen or hear the teaching.
Dhamma som de kong lu so Dhamma som do de yowa sinki Dhamma ngi mi Dhamma yo hwa Dhamma so ti Dhamma som kong du Dhamma yowa sinki Dhamma do de de ge za thap de sin ba yowa sinki Dhamma de Dhamma ho ra yu do je te mo ne do long de de te la da ngang ge lo ma da ba to pa de ma tham ji de da ngang so la yu yin ba wa sinki yin ni zong de nam bo Dhamma da ge me ge lo ma tin ge to pa de yu no te tham ji pa be bang ne da ngang ge Dhamma song ge ti sin dang bo ge ta thap ye sin ba yo sin ji Dhamma do ji te hu go ko yu ri ge hu go ta ta ho rang ge ting hang ga ge nam to ngin pan Dhamma da yi mi tin de thang na da ho pa ya ne ko lu nga yi song ka te da ho so chu so la da ho lo to ta si ti to pa ngin pa bang go song le
Yowa Simke Dhamma
yowa sin ji Dhamma ge ta thap ye sin ba yowa sin ji Dhamma sa ge ba la ge ta ge thap ye sin
Tengi ji mi pa me pa
yo hwa Dhamma ti Dhamma som te dong ha kang lam nyam su la na ti Dhamma som kong na ma di pa yo ma yi
in order to again to receive the Dharma teaching or to hear the Dharma teaching, first we need to Dhamma Sum. Dhamma Sum is like a three principal quality you need to develop. First one is Jorwa Semke, is like the bodhicitta, altruistic enlightened mind. The first. And then second one is the visualizations. Mikpa So the second one, visualize without the visualizations. You need to focus into the point. And the third is the dedication. So whatever merit you accumulating or you accumulated so far, you dedicating to the welfare of the all sentient beings. Make sense? Please, if it doesn't make sense, please raise your hand and I will try to correct that. So I forgot one also that whether you like say I'm a tantric practitioner, I'm a sutric practitioner, but you have to have these three quality no matter what you're practicing, or your primary practice or your principal practices. So then you need to catch that, or you need to hold that getsa tap. It's the getsa is the root of the merit. You need to hold that, or you need to grab that with the skillful mean. Tap is a skillful mean. So you need to hold it. Means, in other words, so what he's saying is you need to use the skillful mean or skillful method. So not just, what's saying, what it is real, so you need to understand it thoroughly, what is the root cause of the merit, the accumulation of the merit. So then we consider ourselves as a Mahayana practitioners, the greater vehicle, the practitioner or the followers. So then this tanda tikwa chambu ge jerim chik song te war chik
ge ta ta de sin tu de ta sam ba ja cho ma nam kha ta nya de sin jin tham che ge dong dong ye ge ba de ti dong de yin sam ba long tu na ti te ba chim chu ro ko yori.
So if then ones who grabs into that all the merit I accumulated, whether I accumulating or so far I accumulated, I'm going to dedicate all the merit to the cause of all sentient beings' benefit. So you have a like Samba Gyachembo. It's like a great thought. Your thought is not limited. So like vast, for like when we say all sentient beings, all mother sentient beings, then you including everybody.
Tendari on Crowe, Tendari in the Tilla, Tachu gave out a young Pando to Kuru. Garci, Tendari, two Samba Jacimbo, in the Sintin Tanches Ama, Hipaina, give out the two get out Tapu Gamazini, give out Antanaka, give out Timbo, the Dona, should get out Tap Gamazina, to give out the Tipa Chimbula Mandova. There are no easy sooner, that give out Timbo, Tantan give out, don't give out Yanga Pandomo, Nipa, on Koyu.
So, again, we need to use. The tool is the skillful method or the skillful mean. That with that tool you need to understand, you need to analyze, you need to recognize the the root cause of the virtue or the root cause of merit. So if you have that quality or you develop that quality within yourself, then even you accumulated a tiny bit merit, you accumulated, that merit is going to be a double, triple, because you have that skillful method. And then you dedicating that merit to the sake of all mother sentient beings, not for like your loved one or your relative or your friends or your community or your race or so and so, So it's, when we say all mother sentient beings, then there's no enemy, there's no relative, there's no loved one. It's each and every like an unconditional love type. The second quality, this one is the how to develop that altruistic enlightened mind or the bodhicitta, you can say. The first one. The second one is no visualizations. So, without the Mikpa Magomba. So anyway, so without the visualization, literally I'm translating that. Another word, what Rinpoche is saying, that not having any afflictive emotions or conceptual thought or diluted thoughts. So not having that at all whatsoever. So based on then, you have the realization of what you call a great seal of emptiness, Dzogpa Chenpo Dzogchen, or Mahamudra realizations, or Madhyamika. So, like these are like higher advanced study and teaching. So you have, knowledge of that, or you can say you well knowledge of those teaching, or you have you can say realizations of those teachings. that point of view, then you can do that. You can develop that quality.
Thế là ta ngang thon lẽ là bộ cắt là ra sa do ở sông ta chứ mà chỉ cái yang ta và tổ thuộc cái mà đấy thì thế tổ mà thấp cắt là ta rằng cái lung ai sông thì cái là cột thuộc cái đi thế nên là qua ta rằng cái gì thì có số sâm để chú là đồ thuộc cái đó là thế chú là đồ thuộc cái chế đó ta tạm bộ chế của cái chế thì can đi mà ta chế thì thằng sao mà tông của cái đó thế chế thì thằng sao mà tông của cái đấy rồi.
So since we are ordinary people as a beginner, so we don't have those high realizations or siddhis. So as what we have in our possession is our body, speech and mind. That we need to dedicate. How are we going to dedicate? And then we need to investigate, good, bad, what is you need to abandon, what is need to, what is you need to accept, what is you need to reject. This one. So I'm consulting with Geshe-la if I'm missing anything, So, we need to dedicate genuinely, not just from well, I will, but not from your bottom of your heart, without, any of these afflictive emotions or conceptual thought or diluted thought is interfering your mind, or contaminating your mind, your pure mind. So, my body, speech and mind, I'm dedicating. Then you can develop that.
Ta chia tất cả là rằng cái ta chữ là rằng thế mà để chữ yang ta ba lần thế đó mà ta này chia cho cái gì rằng ghê chi như thế ghê chi như yang ta ba thế mà đi đó mà ta chia cho cái gì mà rằng lưu tin ta cảnh về này lưu thop đó tình ra về chia cho cái gì xong thế nên cả là ba là ta người rằng cái tam jo ni ka wa lo do nam ki da sama tong go khyu de ba lo do nam ki de sama tong go de ga de sin na khol ba chen de la yin song chen na de la yin ba jian ren ba che de ba yin na chu yang ta ban ro khu ta wa ni yu ba ri chen de la sin na chu ba me se ti de ki ta rang ngang so lo do nam ki de ta ho yu la che thun na de ki khol ba la jo xie jie ju ta chu yo bu nim yong lo de le khu de ba de ki lo do nam ki de gong lo de sa ta cho go khu de ki ta che
again the first is that we need to investigate the teaching. But somebody is teaching that you cannot put blindfold in your eyes, say, this is teaching and what he or she believes and I need to believe. It's not like that. In the Buddhism, it's strictly you investigate, you analyze that makes sense to you or not this teaching. If it makes sense to you, you are getting something from that teaching, you understanding the meaning, whatever teaching is telling you or saying you investigate that first. Then who is teaching you, whether he or whether she? So whoever as a teacher is teaching, again that individual is a genuine teacher or not. That's your moral responsibility. You need to investigate that too. So then you need to investigate yourself. We meet, we were born and then finally we met the Dharma. How we met it? What is the circumstances? What is the conditions are? How we met it? Where actually came from? Who introduced you? All that. So you investigate. All has a reason, all has meaning. So then, and then you think yourself as a precious precious human existence. You obtain this precious human life. We each have that. It's not easy to obtain. We did something good, so we have perfect precious human life or precious human existence. So now you need to investigate that part too. So so first how we are going to then all that after the investigation, then now we need to turn ourselves into Dharma activities. How to practice, how to put myself to practice Dharma, how I can do more Dharmic, activities. So that's the 4 thoughts. It says 4 thoughts which turns our mind to practice Dharma. So, as like a ordinary being, as a beginner, if Dharma is not there, then sometimes our mind get bewildered, our mind get confused. Then we get so attached to this cyclic existence, material world. So then we never, we kind of tangle with this, the cyclic existence, material or the world, materialistic world. Then we never ever going to release ourselves from that tangle, you can say. Tangle, yeah? You cannot release from that. So we need to release ourselves. We need to be free. So, in order to do all those things, first we need to learn these 4 thoughts. So it's called the Lodok Namji in Tibetan word. Your mind reverse into practice Dharma. Turn away from the material world and letting you or making you focus into Dharma practice.
대한 다다당이란서 모두 제발기에 더 규양다반 해주들이 야가 운신한 장 가르쳐 오시나 다다미란서 규양다반은 태는데 나 최산수를 따라다 린저데 추진의 용언도 제와 하마도 미스나 야침보르사네 규양다반은 태들을 공소바 모나야 보트네 딜렌 데바로 다다든다 모두 제발기랑 규양다반 해주들 제와 하마소나 야침보르사 자리게 된 단팅들이 좀
Like, great enlightened master Longchen Ramjam said, what do you think? You obtain the precious human life or precious human existence. And then plus, top of that, you met the precious Buddha Dharma. What do you think, how you obtain, how you got those, how you receive those? So, then he is answering that, saying that we did something good in our past life or previous life. We did really something outstanding job, So dharmic, job. So whatever we accumulated, merit or any kind of dharmic activities, that is the result of that. Then you have the precious, perfect, complete human existence or human life. And then we get opportunity to meet the precious Dharma.
되게 다다다 내가 저도 된다 그 소나 자침벌 마사는 내가 그도 토코요 말이 좀 제발이 담피던 대반데 대충 포고 토바당 딱 레포리 깝디왕 그왕 토를 말이 소나 자침벌사가 되게 토는데 디장 포그 레된 토든 티노네 다다 취향당 바도지나 제와 마오반이 양 취향이 눈매자와 태통마고 받아 독도 산지 공파 톱들이 드나리 저리 임바되다 가랑서 가와 공겼다 이 장꿀 레든 토다 니근 티노네 이랑 그 추기와 드브되다 촉니 나마리 좀 된다다가 우리라.
Again, so all that the great deed, the great virtuous deed you did in your past life or your previous lifetime, and you accumulated like limitless merit. So then you look at, if you look at your perfect, precious human life, and then you met this Dharma, all this, like interdependent origination, the result of your previous life, the great deed you did, the virtuous deed you did. So, in this lifetime also, if you continually, if you will practice Dharma, you do, Dharma activities, accumulate merit, and the future life also going to be a better and better, all the way the day you get enlightened or attain Buddhahood. Till that time, you will go higher and higher. So also it's there's a famous teacher made a quote that what you did in your previous lifetime, you look at in this life, this lifetime's, your life, what you did in the past, So, and what you like to, what you want to be in your next life, you look at in your present action. What kind of action or activities you're doing? So, so just look at yourself. Again, you did really good, and then you have this precious, perfect human existence, and how do you say? You obtain all that 18 qualities, the endowments, and how do you say? Free from the 8 worldly unfavorable conditions. So I'm forgetting all those words. So try to look it in the dictionary. So leisure lana yang kon so gakwa jaga to thase leisure se pe thalbo lagda wala khom tal. So some people say leisure, huh? 8 worldly dharma, or some translator, the master they translated says 8 unfavorable worldly, conditions. So I don't know. So who is right, who is wrong? La. 8 opportunities. Geshe-la says 8 opportunities. So. I will check here. So, Taljo cheki the chik khase chego dola kondola.
Tate tarwa je do mama impe.
Ah, so.
Tarwa je to ki yawa ya da tondo. Thal thami de wala.
Tarwa je
ta hote na. Mama impe ni thor tarwa je de le ndu. Yawa na thadang ke khongkho yu ma de ba. Teni ya da la ti kong ko khongkho ma tondo ling ko khongkho ma la lan tham thok ke khongkho yu ma ko thamin tham thok de ba. La la tin du shi mi pa ngang ni khongkho yu ma chu de le ko khom ba mi ti ye ni thot thop. Ti yin thop ta da mai ma khom ba yen thot thop de mani. Mani ma khom ba ye de ta yon thang ko ti so na ko chu ge da tam ta ko yu ma ri ba. Teni ta lok ta ke le so ni lok ta chu yang ta ba la man the ba ta rang chu le thân ta ni so ma so ne pa lok ta ke yu the so ni de yon thang ko be lok ta de ni ni lok ta la lo kun chu ba
din nang la khasal po jab do nge tin din lo jana ga sa re
so ko pa do te lo le so ma ro ba ko pa 이 산제 마존나 양코이 내 사자 토를 뭐 토병나 핑크요 말이와.
네.
디 이제 다가 뭐게 뭐 빠지는 저달 던데리다.
So I will read it from here. So exact what the translation says. So Rinpoche says something. So So these are the the 8 leisure. It says the 8 freedom, the 4 freedom from the 4 fetters within human existence. Not holding wrong view, not born in barbaric land, not born in a place where Buddha has not appeared, not born as a mute or a fool. Then the second one is the 4 freedom from 4 fetters non-human existence, not being in a hell being, not being in a hungry ghost realm, and not being an animal, not being long living God. So talwa gete something.
Teni ramjor nga tita rang ngula yorwa nga chango kyu ba. Te rang ngula yorwa nga chango di meni uti wang bo chang len tha ma lo ne la te do di dang bo nga me yin ba meni yin ba teni meni yin tha de wang bo yin na tham ji chung ma go ba tham ma chang de ba meni uti wang bo chang si me yin ba la yor chu ta sa yor gu u do di te chu ta sa yor la ti de ba wang bo chang de ba len tha ma lo do rang chu de rang lok da ri ba de chu de nga mu de ba chu de mi de sem de la de mu de de la len tha ma lo ra len tha ma lo ne de meni uti wang bo chang len tha ma lo ne de ti ya de ram yor ti nga ri de ram yor nga ri ti nga de meni uti wang bo chang len tha ma lo ne la de jo.
These 5 endowments are the being as a human being, and then who's obtained, who obtained complete the human existence, not having any birth defects, having all this, the arms, eyes, whatever the body parts are, you possess or you have, then born,
Sorry, I just want to count these 5. So first one, before we doing the practice, what we have to need to be opportunity. That is, first we have to be a human being. If we are born in a hell realm and other realms, then there's no opportunity to do the Dharma practice. So that's why we have to need to be born in a human realm. Then secondly, even a human realm, that's not enough. If your mental faculty is wrong, then you cannot understand or you cannot do. So all mental faculty is be perfect or need to be good. Then third is, if you born in a dark age or where there is Dharma is not flourishing, then even your mental faculty is okay, but you will not meet the Dharma, so then you will not get education. So you don't know how to do practice. That's why the Dharma must be flourishing at that time. Then even Dharma is flourishing at that time, if personally, individually, if he is not awareness of Dharma, or he is not attentive of Dharma, or he is not just neglecting, or he is not paying any attention, then even Dharma is flourishing, but individually there's no effect for him. So that's why his main mental quality is to be very interested in Dharma. If he have no interest in Dharma, then that Dharma will not affect it. So his mind should be turned into Dharma. So Nela Deva said, then Dharma, he have to be fed on Dharma, then he has to be interested in Dharma. That's the 5 quality of the need to be consistent for oneself. Then other 5 is need to become outside. These 5 qualities need to be consistent in individually, because he have to be man, then he have to be consistent of 5 mental, all mental faculties should be correct. Then his mind is to be turned on the right way, or to turn Dharma. Then Dharma, then also what call at that time Dharma teaching also necessary to present at that time. So these 5 is necessary to become need to be content within oneself. Now 5 is depend on other side. It need to become outside.
Sanje sung tan te chu sung in pa ne tan te ji so yin sen tin de ba wo song ta yang ga le ram jo nga de chang rong de yang sanje ma sung na de phin ke ma sanje sung pe ta ten ba tha yap ji ba sanje sung ben jo ba ni sanje sung ro yang sanje ko nyam ya bi jo chu ma sung na phin ke ma de ta ha chu sung de ne na so chu dub je ba chu song ja ji ba de ni chu sung ji de rang ti ji de ma jo na chu sung ne ke phin ma ti ji de rang thok tho yu ba sanje sung de chu sung de ten ba ne tang te ji cho yang ji de chou na ten ba de ma ni na chu dub li ke tu thu mi li ten ba do na tu thu mi lo lo ten ba ne tho ba ti ti ji de chou ba ne ti chou yin sen chen de te ba wo so rang ke na ten ba ne ti ji de chou tu pa ni yang ti ta la ma te gen chi ni te rang ji so song ne thok te we ji so long tho ba rang na ti chu dub li ke thun jin thang tho ba yin sen chen de te ba do ji de na de ti nga de thang ma na phin thun mo te yin tu ni thang ko de yin jo nga do me ta so
this 5 quality we need to relate it to the others. So the Buddha came, Buddha appeared, the land or the planet where you born, and then he taught, he revealed the Dharma teaching, he taught the Dharma teaching. So not just Buddha appeared then didn't give any teaching, then that's no good. So have to Buddha appeared or Buddha came, gave teaching, and then Sangye Shonra Wala.
Sangye Sungwa.
So then, the teaching, the doctrine he taught exists. And then people follow, the disciple follow and practice, and then develop the loving kindness and compassion. From so we are following, the teacher who's giving who's teaching, he or she again is the teaching through his loving kindness and compassion. Then as we are as a follower or disciple, then we are following the footsteps, or that teachers, you can say footsteps of the teacher's loving kindness and compassion, which is the teaching, the actual teaching.
Togar ban rinchu ta mini hin de ni ga song phop mu lo ke ta pe nga song khorwa te teng sap chung du te teng sap te jam so la pe ya te ni ya chen la khong kre ma jo te ni te sa ta ma ni te dang hin de nyong gui te bu ga khong ti bal pe ya ta ro ba long a te choi jab la jo te ro ba la kho mai ni jo te ni sin jin tham che lan do ke ne tu mi chi lan do ke sa wa te khu ge wa do ti pa pa mi chi jo te gu lan do ke ne mi chi ju te ke mong sun te ke mu ba ri sun du make me pal pe ya ti lo yare ke than lin le khala le mer hab jo te lo yare ba de lin le le mer hab jo te ta kho chima yen ke ni te khu ge wa lan the ma thab te kum bo chu ge wa ta po lan the ma thab ta da ong ke kum bo te ke te gu te lo dang te pe ya ne to wen pe go ni ko na ta te hin de ni ka ba
lo pe te ni jin da
yo tang pe ta jo ti ta na ta pe de de ba jo yo de ta yimba tong go lo trans tong go ti ye ma ta te te la
so we tang dang gyu ni kar sa the wala
yo ta pe che wo ta
pe she ju wal tang tanji
tang tha ma tang che
so the first we gave how difficult to obtain the precious human existence is the that we discuss about the cause, how difficult, how what is the root cause to root cause of the human existence, how to obtain the precious human life, the precious human existence. The second one is the example. It's categorically divided into, you can say, in the 3 levels. So first, cause, example, and the numbers. So now it's telling you that how difficult to obtain the precious human life is giving a blind turtle who lives the underneath of the ocean, and that how big is the ocean. The blind turtle, and the surface of the ocean, there is like one whole yoke, a wooden yoke. So the turtle, every 100 years, the turtle comes up to the surface of the ocean, and then the turtle is blind. But it says it's possibility the day the yoke is somewhere in the surface of the ocean, the same time the blind turtle is coming from the bottom of the ocean to the surface, and the same time, like a coincident type, might like as soon as the blind turtle pull up, his or her head might fit through that yoke. But it is the way, like if we use a common sense, we look at, it's impossible, because the wave of the oceans, the yoke is the piece of wood. Whenever wave moves, the yoke will maybe go east or west or north or south. Yoke is not a solid stuff that's stick in one place. But it says it's possibility, but just think of how difficult, how impossible is that. So like the sentient beings are so confused, so contaminated with their own afflictive emotion, and like a blind. The blind turtle don't have any clue. It's like a clueless. Don't know, can't see, because the yoke is where's the yoke, and follow cannot follow because of the blindness of the turtle. So likewise, this giving an example, that then we don't know what we need to reject, what we need to accept, what is positive, what is negative, so then we get confused, we get distracted with all this material world and all so forth.
Da dang gon pe ya na de ro wa dai thok de la da ya ba la sa chin pe do dang ga dang ma nyong la cha ya da ri yi da de tin chuo gang ga ge da ge se ma ge se ge dang na nya mi la pe ya na da da ha ge tun ro de yang so ko thong lu sa le ko kan tho ko tun ro tham che ni da dollar ri wo la tin to sang de pe ya den ka che da nga de cha tha ka ma la the ma ni tin da ri xing dong ri la tin pe sin ka che ne do de tun ro ma nyong de ko u sun thong lu thong chu la ri ha ko hon ti tin da ta ha ma yin la kha ba pyo so ba ta lo so sa ta ma yi yam de don na ti se mo tu na do cha ba ta ma do ti dang ma nyong ko na de ta ni dang ma nyong sem chi ke dang ma nyong u du ti de ke me tho pa ti xin to ka ba ko ba yin ba do ta ke ki ha ko khu ri so ne.
So now you compare your precious human life with the animals. So animal, any kind of creatures, even you if you're walking somewhere and there's like a little rock, you pull up, so how many different kinds of insects underneath? Then you compare, They don't know, where they are, what they're doing, or, what they are up to. But you have, you as a human being, you know what is, good and bad. So you compare yourself. Likewise, like some insects, some creatures we can see through our eye, but some we cannot. But there's, like some sort of a telescope or something you look at, there's like all kinds of little creatures. So, like a snow, some, like we can see like a snowflakes. Like then you cannot calculate, you cannot count the snowflakes. It's like that. Then you compare yourself. You have this precious human life. Oh, I'm very lucky. I'm very fortunate one. So,
Ta tanda pe tang jo tang song ge gon ti ta xin jie ni ta menu te ne thok ka ma yin ba yin ne ra sam ne ri rang ge tang ko ba de mein thok ko ko ti ko ba lang sa ka ti rang ge yu la chod jan ta rang ge menu te si so kan de thok gon do ta thok ji te ti ta tong da ka re dro gon do san ti deng ja ko ko de ba la den da deng ja ti ta sa mo tong ta menu thok ka ba de ha nga ge yu la je ta ba ta menu thok ka ba yin ba de ha ko te rang ge thok ka ba de tong de dro go da sam ne ta.
You need to analyze, you need to investigate piece by piece, frame by frame, how precious is our human life. Individually, there's individual responsibility. So you investigate. Like it says, like cause, example. But then it's like an example to number, just counting the number. So eventually then you got it now. Oh, really, this is a precious human life, making sense. Till that time, you investigate. It's a lot of people, what precious, human life. They complain about themselves. So it's because we don't investigate how precious it is. Like example, with we are comparing with the insects and living creatures and like that. They have no idea, no knowledge of whatsoever, where they are, what they are up to, but we know good and bad, whatever. We have we are conscious, so we know that. So, there's so many ways. Rinpoche Tanji de Chutim dan Jimba dan zo. So, in the cause, I think I said this to you or not, then also one, the quality you obtain was, in the cause of the precious human life is that you practice on the morality, moral ethics. And then the moral ethic is not enough. Rinpoche says, you have to have you need to also practice on generosity. So this goes together, the morality and the generosity. So that's another, the result of the merit you accumulated to obtain this precious human life. I think I forgot that, so I have note here, so I'm just remind him.
Tararanga topa te ko pan ho tie ne te la te ti da me ji sing ta topa ke ho men ti ne ti ni la sem te fu po yam ba ya te mo to pa zo da nam to mi peng yam ba go go ku yu ni
so like investigate yourself, how difficult is the precious human life, or how difficult to obtain the precious human life. Then whatever activity you did in the past, or not to follow, not to repeat, not making all kinds of plan. So in other words, these are all thoughts, right? So not interfere the thought, the diluted thought into your pure mind, not to follow. The thought comes up, you need to say something negative or positive, then you follow that thought, and then you take it into action. So during this time, you investigate, you analyze, get to, some level glimpse of the how difficult to obtain the precious human life. Then you need to relax, means meditate. And then, not letting the thought, the diluted thought or the conceptual thought arise into your, pops up, the simple word, it pops up in your mind, that not to follow those thoughts. Whether it's the previous or the past time thought, or the, in the future thought, whatever it is. So not to follow that. Then if you follow, then you get distracted. You're not going to relax. The simple word is.
Te to marabna ti jimtun tan te la chan dawa tan jimtun tan ta te ku yo ri to san yam bai go thuna te ki phin kha yu te ko te tam te chu ri ra le na po ka la ko yang ta ba ta to ma te ta de yen yo pen ma ri gom jin na te ko chu so le jimtun tan ong thot song le.
So so as a beginner, like we mentioned earlier, that no visualization. The no visualization means like we have to have a realization or siddhi of like Dzogchen teaching or Mahamudra teaching or Madhyamika teaching, realization. But these are very advanced practice and teachings. So, but you don't need to worry about now, I cannot practice. No, you can practice. It's that this, that we just mentioned, that you relax your mind as much as possible. Not to, follow yourself into those deluded thoughts. Then you have some sort of a glimpse, quality of those three practice or teaching, you can say.
Ti gewan je pe yo ye dan ti kin da man da kin ki gewa sik lo khu li so gewan je pe yo ye do je ti ma hu pa tang ngong hu tang yin na che tang yu pa chi so da ra rang ge gewa te ho ma chi pa tang ti gewa lo pa la hu chan da nga chen de tho ni nga ga wo ji bo de wong kho sim de nga ga nu de le ma na te ti pho be kho sim de do te lo pa la ho go ba gewa ga ta ba ho ma che de ba la te ma ho ma ro ne tha de ba ta hu na lo pa hu cha ba ta Tini gewa zi dobna te gewa pe sapo do san tel mana ngom ne tin te che ne nge te do nge te se u do pe ngom de na ti ngom de gewa zi do khoyu de wala ma ngu pa da mo yin ne yu pa chi ne nge ma gewa chimbo do ja yin te nge te sa do ja ri mo do san san do pe ka hin chu pa phu yin ba tang ne te yin ba tong che da so ti che ke sang na de sa ri ti nge te san dai ma do san san do yin yang ti gewa ma do ja yin yu pa chi na tin him gewa la do khoyu ri tin je pa yo ye te ke je no ko ta te ndo nyam ga yo chi che gom ni chi suna tin men je tha de ba la tin je khoyu ma ri ti gewan je pe yo ye ke ti u tho khoyu ma ri so ne
lokpal lam lokpel
ma hu ba la wo hu tang yin na che tang yu pa chi so te gewan je pe yo ye te ye de ba la ta
te gewal ten song the wala ji song the wa tang gewa ta ko yang ta belam la mangu wa dan check song the wala
ma hu pa ta ho ma hu ni gewa ko ma chi de ba te ma hu pa ni lo pa la hu cha lo pa lo
lam lo pa
la.
So anyway, so we need to cultivate this four quality. Also, we need to develop within ourselves that, the dedication we mentioned. The dedication should be dedicated to the right place. You can say the right side. Wherever that you're dedicating the right, the perfect, you need to make the perfect, you can say, dedications. And then, the second one is not dedicating into some sort of a lokpa is like a wrong way. Your dedication is not entering into a wrong way or wrong path. And then the third one is not having a pride, or like say, I accumulated merit and having a great pride, telling everybody, whatever, having a great pride. So not having a pride about the merit. We need to what we discuss is that we need to accumulate merit. Then we need to dedicate that merit into the sake of all sentient beings' welfare or all sentient beings' benefit. And then, the dedicating those merit to the right direction or right path, and not dedicating the wrong path or the wrong way, not having that pride. And then the fourth one is not regretting, like I wasted time, I accumulated, complaining, or the stuff, so whatever, regret about the merit you accumulated. So I did wasted time, and then, like sometimes, you give something, then you get regret. Why should I give that? I need it now, or my family need it, or my loved one need it. Like you give something to charity, like charity or like shelter or so on. So the needies. Then later you regret that I shouldn't give that. I need it. Then those are the you need to avoid. You need to reject that kind of.
Geva de pena ta hang ge tam jo ni ta wa la sa na ta ta ho ju pe tan song ko ni ni lo ta la ge ta ho te ta chen je ni te je ta ta yo gom to ta te da gom ka geva te ta ran tu ho ko ko yu ri ting ho cha jin na da ri ti kin ge che tu ko yu ma ti te kin kin na ta te lu khong tho ge ta ta ka geva ma ko ka wa cha ta sa geva tu je khong tho ge to yong ji sam chang ma na ta je ne la no ko yu ri to.
So while you are in this, you are practicing this kind, practicing virtuous deed or accumulating merit. During that time, not to let arise your anger. Anger is so powerful; it's going to destroy instantly. Instantly, it's going to destroy whatever merit you accumulated in the past or previous or present. It's going to destroy instantly. Likewise, the other afflictive emotions, so like anger, desire, ignorance, jealous, pride, these are the 5 afflictive emotions. So the anger is the main. But Rinpoche is saying that, so then the rest of the follows. So then it destroy. You accumulated merit like a size of huge mountain, for example, and it's going to destroy instantly that huge mountain. The anger is so powerful, so negative. Last.
Te ta ha tin ta nang in par ma long ko ni ta ti ge wa yang ga ta ta ho chi go ko yu ho ji te la ta ko so na ba mo to pe ta be ti xin go so ti mi mi hi le u na te ke ho wa yang ta ba ko yu te ta ta ngang so liang ti mi mi ki hi ke ta wa te le ma tho un du ta te jang de ho go ko yu sin na ni yang pa pa wo ko de zang po tham ji ke ya ba se dang ja ba chen jing ke tu na kan de pe ge wa hu na nga ka te ta tu ho Tin am pe gewa ke ti la nga ge ta chung chung de tin am don pen nga ge da don zin me san rang lu ke pa tong ne Thinking from Holland and look part on the going to Zambo. Jump young and Ganda, who not did that Holland and the Darang party, thinking yank or you were dark and Kayu Maravala. Then that's a and a tape, Jana, Jam for Timpo, and a rank gets that control, take part from the Jam for Timpo on the part. There's nothing, Jam for the Maka, but did take part and the Jimmy, but better out the rank, neck out with Deva Toku and Tar. 他把他们进不光旁人跟马头就把这这个的讲的很多人们的拉就没种的，你有空啊，咱把去听我这些我的完了。
So under any circumstances, we are not supposed to lose our merit, what we accumulated. Not let those afflictive emotions destroy our merit. And then the merit I accumulated, I'm going to dedicate to the sake of all sentient beings' benefit. If you have the siddhi or the realization of the non-visualization primordial wisdom, it's called. If you have that, it's like it's a realization, it's a siddhi, attainment. If you have that, then you don't need to go through all that. But you can do it through that primordial wisdom. If since we don't have that, we are ordinary beginner practitioner, then you can just take an example, Manjushri, Samanta Badra, Samanta Badri and so forth. So however they dedicated their merit to the sake of all sentient beings, take an example for them, and then you dedicate your merit. So then your merit is going to be increase, not going to decrease. So it's going to increase and increase and increase. Whether it's this life or next life, the ultimate, the liberation stage is the Buddhahood, or the enlightenment state. Till that time, that merit is going to be continually, it's going to be increase.
Tôi bây giờ đang sống gom lâu thế nào tại vì ta mà ta bảo gom nào thế tại vì đang bộ ni lo đó năng cái ni ngô zone ni gom thì ta có sa gia chim bộ tôi qua chim bộ nào kia đến đó là cả gom nào tam ba sống không nên tham ăn làm đến ta hình du đi khi lên tin năng tại ta mà ta bảo gom là ta tam ba sống không nên du đâu có khuyên đi ta hình như mà ta bảo gom thì ta mà ta bảo là ngang số cái ta cái này đi đâu xin ta tam giờ thì ta nhị cao à đi thì ta nhị cao à thì đang những hava những bà chỉ có khuyên đi rồi.
So then, now the second one is the second thought. The first one is how difficult to obtain the precious human life. The second one is the impermanent. Nothing is permanent. Impermanent. So also, this, we cannot say that now I obtain the complete, perfect, precious human life. This precious human life is permanent. We cannot describe or we cannot say it like that, because this precious human life is also impermanent. It's going to be destroyed. It's going to be disappear any minute, instantly. We don't know, but it's the inherent nature of the precious human life is also impermanent.
Ta te ke meta pa ta san mo tan kan ngan so ta ne do sa ka sin hu kin jik tin sa jum de yang ta ta me de chö me dan chö long ka tin ta min je ta ma na kha tong pa ran ji o ti za ta karma la so pa ra ra wa ta khan je sin hu ke cha to ta ma de ta ni meta pa de wa la ta ma jik jo yo ri so ti ne tan ke tan dam je yo de ti na ka sin ki tan ke ta sa jum ta kwan de ra ko meta pa bin jik jo de Simchi tham chiết khổ mưu mà bỏ bà tham nàng cái chú tham chiết đồng diễn đồ đó là sẽ cái nhiệt tiên ra nhiệt dồi đi thế nàng cái simchi tham chiết nhiệt dồi thì thế là sinh hữu cái nhiệt tiên ra là sao mà ta bà gom của khối đi nàng chú cái simchi sao mà ta bà gom của khối đi xong ta thế là tam bách chiêu là sao mà ta bà gom bà cái đặc bộ là sao mà ta bà gom bà đơn bà đặc bộ là sao mà ta bà gom bà rồi ta thế là mà ta bà sắp chết đến sa chết sao đi ta rằng hôm nay cái sinh hữu cái nhiệt tiên là ta mê cái nhiệt cho cái nhiệt long cái bộ này thì tham nam khát ông bà rằng cái khát thong thanh này ông đồ xong sai rồi ngang thôn nên tụ sát qua lần đấy thì nam khát ra cái mà nhà mà đào tham gì đào phảiอยู่มันท่านยิ่งเยอะเลยกี่รางกี่ดีมาตัวเต็มคุมมาตัดบางไม้มาทุบทุบอะไรต่างๆไปจริงๆรู้ที่ละมาริมาละ
So how we're going to practice this impermanent is like look at whether it's inner phenomena or outer phenomena. Inner phenomena is the sentient beings, living beings, creatures, so forth. So the outer phenomena is all this, land, earth, water, whatever existent of the outer phenomena. Those called the outer phenomena. Those the phenomena is going to be destroyed eventually. Like fire, the fire is going to burn. The wind is going to blow away. All that, when the end of the world, when it ends, it's going to, the cycle ends. This, the cyclic existence cycle ends, then, it's going to destroy with the fire and water and wind and so forth. So we hear that quite often. So even other religions say that too. So that's, their inherent nature is also impermanent. Nothing is impermanent. Like Rinpoche is saying, even the sun and the moon and the star and all the galaxy, whatever existing there, it's going to destroy also. Eventually, eventually it's going to be a disappear. It's not going to stay there like same size in the same place and like that. So these all are the inherent natures. It reminds us, tells us or teaches us impermanent. So we need to meditate on impermanent. Lona
chotik batik tati chotik batik ngake gewa chung de la pe ja da chotik batik yam tho de yam ba yang kun dang po tham chi kan chot sam pa ja wa se de ba gewa lap chimo de wa ti nang ngake gewa chung de ta tin phang ho ngake da ma ge ma zong hui ka na ho wa ho lo de pe ja ne la ti chotik batik yam tho de yam tho de ma ka ba chotik batik kam ju ma wa ke de.
So I mention or not, I don't know, but when it goes deeper and deeper, some things, it automatically reminds me, it comes up in my mind that, then like say, the how we are going to dedicate our merit that we accumulated, like take an example like Samanta Bhadra or Manjushri, but you say, you accumulate just tiny bit of merit, like take it as, your merit is the size of a drop of water. You drop that drop into the ocean, and then that drop is going to be melted into going to be mixed into the ocean water, and then your merit is going to be, like flourishing everywhere, spreading, you can say. So your merit is never ever going to destroy, unless if your afflictive emotion, like your anger, is not going to destroy. So
ta te ke mata pa gong de ta tin ji tin tham che mata pa sen ji tin nga ne lu sa sa yin de la mata pa yin ba ta na ke nu ke sem ji tham che mata pa yin ba ta sa mo ta na ta ra ne na chur ji ni de ni che pa do khun yo ra ji ma to ta pa yo ma yo si pa de dharma ni ge pa ne khu je ga nam che ke ta pa yo ma ri da ta ra jo long chu ke ta pa yo ma ri khu che su na ta pa yo ma cha ma ta pa me ba chang chang yi sang tha du ta nga tho ta kan de khu su po lon ta ba khu no long chu kha je kan de chen bo ji na khu te che tu la yu na che me la yu ri yin ba nge pa yu ma che ba la yu na che tha la yu ri yin ba me de no long chu ye bo ji na ta pa mi song ri o ta khang thok nga thang kan de wa cha chen bo se mai yin na khu na nyen thok a thang chen bo ke ne de ta lo kho yang in hong de sa le kho wa cha gang yang mi ba ta ong si lu kho de ra na thok nga thang la wan ma ta pa yin ba ha ko ko yu ri ta na ke zo la tho kan de zong ji po ya po na kho de la yang ta pa yu ma ri kho de ge jo yu ri ta kho yin yin pan da man da ne ke na sa bi yang kho de na zo ya po ji po tho ne tho ko yu ma ta da sa na ma ta pa ri de yu ri
so just there's so many. Take example how to practice impermanence, just like look at a child, a baby when born, and how it's born, then how gradually it's grow up, then like youth, old age, sickness, and so on. So it goes. Everybody is going to go through that. So it's likewise. Nothing is permanent. It gradually changes. So nothing stay in the one person, in the one place permanently. It moves. So likewise, you take your wealth. Your wealth is going to be, decrease. Your wealth is not going to stay at the same time, the same way. I mean, likewise, your fame. You're famous. Maybe you're president of the United States or president of something. You're a very famous, well-known person. But next year or following year, you don't know, you might lose that election, and you become that you're famous. Your power is just disappears. So it tells so many ways all this, and nothing is permanent. Everything is impermanent. Like we said, whether it's the inner phenomena or an outer phenomena, all are impermanent. The inherent nature is impermanent. There's nothing related to the impermanent, any phenomena. All are related to the impermanent. Whether it's like a huge wall, eventually that wall will come down. Whatever the time period it's going to be, but the wall is come down, eventually. Wealth is like that. No matter how much wealth, but that wealth is going to be eventually disappear one way or the other. Whether it's your lifetime or your, child's lifetime or somebody's, that wealth is not going to stay like that. So nothing is going to be permanently stay there forever. Eventually, it's going to disappear. It's going to destroy, like a birth. When you say birth, the death word comes automatically. Birth. Then you're not just birth, like saying that old age, sickness, and so when you gradually, while you're growing up, then the time comes. Then you cannot move, you cannot do nothing. Then you're caught up with there's like all kinds of sickness and illness and so forth. Maybe with one cause and condition of that. So but whatever it is, the bottom line is it's going to destroy. It's going to disappear eventually. So whatever, whether food, and again, we are talking about the impermanence. If you know the true nature of the impermanent, and whether you're staying in one place or you're traveling, whatever, something goes wrong with one of your possession, you're not going to get frustrated. You're not going to get upset because this, it will break down. It might get lost. But it's impermanent. You know that nothing is permanent. Right? You might lose somewhere, or somebody might rob you from there, that's no longer yours, and anything can happen, whatever. Then you are not going to get sad. You are not going to get mad. Because happen, because it's impermanent. So, if you practice, this is, we are talking about how to practice impermanent. What is the true nature of the impermanent? If we practice like that, we we put it in our practice, then we are not going to get any frustration, I will say.
진짜 맞다 봐도 검지라 담조니까 검지 때니까 첸들 힘바 첨보라 첸들 단진이는 속다 첸들 단진이 좀 거유려라 근데 다시 군다면 지산때 자기만 하고 그냥 체조대 기다 싸와니 되는 통코요 말이 이 담조를 간다 톡가와 이제 말하마고 책대 그다음 파 동미의 추주동 토사동 거유로 또 토사동 담조 때문에 동세를 건너 거유리 그 연결아 커디어라 디왕나 건너 거유 되게 담조니까 당 체마다 빠데니 야고랑 곰 키우나 이 첸의 힘바라 단진의 방토 거유리 첸의 힘바 단진의 방토나 제와 참아가 동다 침보도 레줌데라 이치리네 나 레줌데 상초나 휴게바도 시바당 백바방 시바 나 강도도 출레서 말이 고리와라.
So if if we know how difficult to obtain the precious human life, what is the true nature of the impermanent, what is the meaning of the impermanent, or what is impermanent? If we know that very well, then also eventually we know what is the karmic cause and effect. So then we are not going to get then mitakba tanjoni ka mitakba yapun gomsa na
de himbara anjin de million ko wala chen de anjin himba mina ni lo le so rong yaba.
So right now we get so we are so caught up with this material world, and then we don't think, or we can say we don't have time to think about death. Whatever business, whatever the daily life chores, we are so involved. We are making plans, we are thinking, making plan, whatever project you started, the project is not going well, then you get upset at business, anything. So so whatever it is, we are so then we are not thinking about the death. Then one day you are at the doorstep of the death, or you eventually time flies, in other words. So then when you at the dying process, or you reach, or you arrive at the doorstep of the death, then you say, oh, what I did, then it's ahead of the time, if you have a knowledge of the death, whatever your daily life activities, your chores are, but with that, if you know the death, I'm not permanent. So then that self-grasping, not letting that self-grasping ego, not to let cling that constantly, then that clings, then I, mine, me, then that self, whenever that self-grasping ego clings, then we have that attachment, aversion, whatever, So we are not going to have that. So we know that, impermanent, death, so forth. So we are not going to get so crazy, we are not making a whole lot of plan. Whatever, to survive, that we all need to do, but not getting, another word is, you can say, not reacting over something you try to accomplish, but it's not accomplishing, Make sense?
Ninda da kadio koma na ba ka ti Drupa ke yam sing chok ne hin lu ke tanda ne gom thar sin dwa thom do jite lo do na ba ge ta ho yu le ki ne te yu ki so ne te ke ni tu da chu da hin ne jo da drupa thop chu de thar sin thapa de lo do na yu ki ti yong ti ni so ngo li da ra ma ta pa re pe ne ya cha ya gan te khara gom chong khong ne ma ta pa yu le ki yin ju khong sang ke chong khara gom chong khong te thau le ba la khong sang ke chomo khara du sat na yo de no ko ka la ti 푹빠 나는 또 공양이 나는 요는 그 푹빠 고사는 태풍에서 그래가 태풍 좀 근데 공철 아신 돈도 태풍을 고생 통도 어레 쭉 고사리 쌈 공양 안 보트라지오지 어레 쭉 조레사라 나테 쭉도 되게 말도 계사 나테 어레 쭉도 생각 하시나 가르치 사 쭉좀 맞춘 타마 라마테 드바 통네 쿠산 타요 판도 저 다리 태풍도 뭐 탈송도 푹빠 고 찬도레리 뒤에 쭉좀 맞용네 다시 뭐다 빠데 쌈데는 개발될 때문에 대줄 두두들 공 도사온 사리 나 대세션을 가르치 쌈셔를 개발될 때는 쭉좀 많이 하스는 살들 말라 세풍데 세풍데 당보 세풍데 쭉고도
마토 때는 공책 가발
공 도와 톱소들이 아 당보 공나 요도 뒤 세풍데가 아슨 로산 남가라 뒤 푸푸고사라 우데라 데 쭉고다 산디 에게 누세사는 개발될 계사리 에 쭉도 생각 하나 셔나 가르치 대중도 두두대사라 나 개발을 가 예리마도 나 시지 말이 산테 마다바 유지를 콩가 대중 마 하스는 살들이
There is a great Mahasiddhas, highly realized being. His name was Khara Gomchong, where he was meditating. He's doing, where he was doing his retreat. The right very edge of his door of that cave where he's doing his meditation and so forth. So there's like a small tree of thorn, right? Yeah. So whenever he comes, in and or coming out or going in, whenever that little thorn tree, the rope, the monks that wears the robes, they caught into thorn. The thorn, when it gets, to the fabric, it pulls you back, kind of. So one day he thought, whenever I, go, come out or I go in, this thorn tree is, disturbing my robes. So he thought, I should cut this little tree down. This thorn tree, get rid of it. Then immediately, that he thought, why I waste it's not bothering me. I can still maneuver in, I can still go in, I can still come in. It touches a little bit, I don't need to worry about that. Why I waste my time? Whatever the time period takes to cut that thorn tree, instead of cutting that tree, I should practice or meditate. I can accumulate a merit. I can accomplish something, So he did, and he achieved one of the high realizations.
Oh yeah, that the mata pa yin pa shit chat dila. Yang mata ne rang chewa dil chadu. Chu pai chat chan ni ko me te len do chok am ne do ta ko chewa lin jo mi ni ko thing ma ong do yu na. Tena ta le te ong no be kyo mari. Ta rang so lu do te ko chod lu no jo lu jo men ta chari. Na par shi pa de shi jo yu mari. Na par shi pa de shi ji mi ko ka re do ko yu isna ko le gi ji san rang ko la ra ma thin yu mari. Te ja pol dan dan do le du je ni te ja pol do jo na long chun za ta yin shi ji men da ji bu chu ne ga ne gang do jang le ne de ma yin de ji san da so chu paro ton do paro ta che sama do go na churan ga je la ta ra long chu khor na de gan de chu ja chen bo teng sa bo do na chu ji la khap ko no mo de long chu khap ko no mo de churan ji la no ko yo ma ri so churan la khor gan de khor po so gan de na churan la ro pa ma khre ma ti sa yo ma ri chu ji la gan rang ga de se chu ta ra le ge de ka de se chu sa wa ga de se cha wo chu sim yu de ba kha ga de ya ba kha zang ga de ya ga de chu ji la dang de wo ri chu ga na sung na de ji la dang mi na dang de yo ri le ge ji san dang ko ko yo ri so ne ba la
So it's a text called Samadhi Raja Sutra. It's a text. This text, it's a teaching. It mentioned that, how gorgeous, how beautiful, how strong, how famous, how powerful, whatever you are, the mundane body is going to, eventually it's going to destroy, it's going to disappear. Likewise, whatever wealth you have, reputation you have, nothing is going to help you, nothing. All going to disappear. So what that in the mundane body is going to be, you're going to live. The mundane body is going to die. In other words, that your consciousness is not going to die. Number Shiva, that's not going to die. That consciousness has the consciousness doesn't have the self-freedom or self-independence. So whatever action the consciousness follow, or that whatever not action, karma, the consciousness follow with the karma, with your very own karma. So the whatever karma you have, or that's the consciousness is going to follow. Number Shiva the legi dangres follow Rama Yamares no tene tejuluche sonte
legi de karasa shona kuti teji sindang yuri ti teji sindang chu kan song kan de na chuan ke wa sama kan ro sona lede gilindang le ma to nor long jura chuan khu ga de kang so te khut gila ho ma.
So anyway, so your son, your bodyguard, your security people, your relative, your community people, your whatever, race, your ethnic origins, nothing, nobody is going to help you or going to follow you. Only, your consciousness is going to follow, like I said, the karma, and the consciousness itself doesn't have the self-freedom. So then whatever virtuous deed or non-virtuous deed, according to that, it is going to follow that. So, legi dex rituala. Tene.
Ta te ke leg yin rang ngete ke ti ta lemde le chi ko khuri lemde le chi ma ta na ta ri ta so le me ge wa sa yo na tene de dong ha yong ne pa ji ne ri ma to chu le me ge wa sa ka te chu pa tu chu le song ne ke pa la song ne da ra de rang sa de ga sa se no jo le da ta ta ma ni yong ko ma ko le ge wa sa yo na te ke de ma yong ju tang me ge wa sa yo te ke de dong ha yong ju te khu yong ne pa ji ne khu te ji sun dang ne pa ji ne so ba me pa ri se ko le.
So so when, if you did, you committed all kind like negative karma, then you are going to, the result is going to be negative. You committed like say heinous crime or something like that, and then you want to transform into that positive karma. You can't. You cannot change like that. You cannot exchange like that. So whether it's a positive, it's going to be a positive. It's negative, then it's going to be negative. So that way, then you will understand. So the third one now looks like we are reaching the, precious human life, then impermanent, and now we're talking, looks like we are talking about the karmic cause and effect. The karmic cause and effects. Whatever karma we are going to cultivate or generate, then the result is going to accordingly. So it's positive, it's going to be a positive result. If it's negative, then it's going to be negative.
ha ko kare sina te nga so lu lang na ni ta ke lo ya so zo zi yin kha ye jo to yin ra ren pha cha cha ren pha ye ba se da te Kiwangama Lezang and Sagan Tit David Tata Paya said the Udava, didn't Paya said the rank Karsaka, rank Karis, Lesai, Karelekona, the rank that Latte Yondo Koyuri. Tarankan Beto Kale can't jab in a toilet and Beto Kale jab the Kata do Young Mato, David told me bata. For a young Beto test Yamago, Kuran cooking young Debata that day. Kiwangama so not Chongri would make Taran Beto Chongale Mandoa, take that lay the English Jim later to Hakon reason.
So now, how is the karma, how's the simple word is how this karma works. So just look at individually, look at any community, look at it in your nation, your country. Just so many ways you can take an example. Some don't need to work hard. They got everything. Some they work hard, still not getting enough. Right? We all are same. So we work hard, still not getting. Sometimes we work hard, we're getting everything. So there, so it's going, around like that. So many ways. But the main thing is where it started from the very beginning. Whatever merit you accumulated, based on that merit, then we are having a quality life, you can say, a perfect livelihood, you can say, or how to say, imperfect livelihood. All are related to that accumulation of the merit based on that karma. Making sense? Okay.
Didn't take it at that. Niran so tan nangba ke che chia tan yikti patawa yang tapa loite lemde thwa me ba yi thupje de ta ka chimbori de ringe ta thwa ke yikti ba ri chatu yikti pa ri chatu le ge le ke phinu yu de ba la ge ba do na tel de ba jong ko ri me ge ba do na de dong han jong ko ri ti lemde thwa me ba lemde li chi ya po chi sona ti lemde thwa me ba yi chi thadu 추초에나 강외나 추그 개발에 사모도 개발 덤도 고요래봐 대다 코 덤들 스미 휴미 탐진 지추인 소 나랑이나 소 남바 산지에 빠기고 레 좀데게 지선 당와 랑그 레데 라랑 가레 레사 아카나 라랑 헤레마도 이에네 레사 아카나 라랑 헤 콜마 랑그 레사 아카나 이네 헤 로비 힐마 데코 랑그 레 가레사 아카나 라랑 헤 바다 데히고 고요리 데히 차르빈 데고 렘데 스미 휴미 리다레 하고 티타와 양사바 렘데 스미 휴미 리다 산네 랑그 삼타와 생쳤나 사진 얘기 부터 양상 받는 거 그거요.
랜드
누미도 소아미래 코 랜드 까레 뺀나 나게 반도 까레 딸건 내 딸은 손 내행기 마도 요거 했는다 이다 너희 행거 말이야. 데다 레 코게 개바 덤나 되는 데바 요기 빠지 소아미 빠. 데 소아미 빠 코데 촉바미 빠 온도 거리. 유미도 이때 코데 쏟고 좀 밀레다. 코 레사 차지 코 레까레 사나 된 데면 행기 마도 땀 행기 밀레 쏟고나 대가서 소주면 양만한 딜레데 나를 매년 세고 거기 양만한 짜고 그거래 봐. 다 짜리고 봐. 짜리고 송으로 봐라. 양은 짜고 양은 빈고 되면서 대가서는 고소 고지 밀레리 휴민 고지 밀레리.
So you can now is the karma, whether it's a positive karma or a negative karma, we are talking about if we recognize what is the karmic cause and effect thoroughly, completely, if we understand the true nature of karma, then we are not going to commit ourselves, or we are not going to create any negative karma, because we know the consequences of if we negative is going to be negative karma. That's non-virtuous deed. Then we are going to change our focus. We are, if we are even saying one word, that's going to be a positive word. Whatever action, whatever moves, all are going to be positive. So, like for example, that if you're cultivating a rice, for example, the result is going to be a rice. not barley or not wheat. If you think, I'm plowing the farm or the field and throwing the seed of the rice or cultivating seed of the rice, then then the plan B is, you want the wheat out of rice. You cannot modify it. You cannot modify like that with the karma. Whatever you get, whatever you plan, that one will get you back. That will come back, or you will get that back. I don't know. I'm getting sleepy or something. Tongue is now not working anyway. So so it's like that. So if you plant rice, you will get the rice. You cannot modify. Yes, there's one thing that if you committed such let's say in a negative karma, then the how I did, whether it's knowingly or unknowingly you committed negative karma, or you did, you generated non-virtuous deed, that you will get the result of that negative karma, which is you created or you generated within yourself. That way you can get rid of that karma, or you can confession. You practice confession, then you can reduce that negative karma. But you cannot modify that karma, There's no way you can modify that karma. As an example, saying you're cultivating or you're planting the rice and then wishing the result as a barley or a wheat, then you are not going to get that. It's a very use your own common sense. Make sense? Yeah.
Tata ranke zopa sanji te kompang tolle ke ranke le sana te ngak thom no khuyuri o nin chu rang jar ke kompang tolle le sana te ngak thom no khuyuri ta la ta mai kompang tolle le ge ba sa chon te ngak thom no khuyuri wala o te me ne ranke ta me ge ba sa ne churang ya ba na che le nin song che le yada che le chu le sa chon churang rang ka sa ka te rang nang ne rang na tien no khuyuri ma to te le to te rang kar le ka te rang nang khuyuri ba. So,
for example, based on your accumulation, you wishing as a, like ordinary, wealthy, famous being, or you have a desire to reach or achieve the God realm, that's up to you, or you wishing the realm of the realm, or you can say realm, you can not realm, sorry, a level of the like ordinary, wealthy, wealth, fame, power, and so forth. That kind of being you wanted, or you want to be in the God realm, having all the God realm's enjoyment, or Nintu Rangel, Partika Buddha and Sharavaka Buddha. Solitary. Nintu Rangel, Sharavaka Buddha and Partika Buddha. Sharavaka. This is a Sanskrit word. So it's like a solitary, Geshe-la is saying, it's a solitary, this is a level. Huh? Oh, solitary. Or you can say a self-liberation state. It's simple, you say self-liberation, you're self-liberating, not liberating others. So that level, if you want, that's up to you. That's, it's like your own free will, your own choice. or you want the ultimate stage, which is the Buddhahood, the enlightenment state. That's up to you.
ที่เทกิตตาเกว่าเดิมเนี่ยทับไปของพังทบจุดเดียวทางเยกชุดทับป้าทบเจกทับตีนชุดทับเกว่าเดิมชุดทับป้าทบคนโดที่ทบทับกับทับตีนนี่มาโตทางเยกชุดทางดงพังนี่เดินที่สิงคางพิงอยู่มาว่าที่ทับป้าทบเจกเมงะทับที่ชุดทางตีนที่ทบเล็ดรังก็เดิมมาดูรังนาเลยเดียวนี่ส่งที่เละแต่โตนี่หาของก็คุยอยู่ว่าล่ะ
So so like Buddha said, I showed you the skillful method of the liberation stage, how to achieve the enlightenment state or the liberation state or the Buddhahood. Buddha is not going to just grab you and just throw you, liberate you. He's not he or she, whether it's female Buddha or male Buddha, whoever you're involved with it, but that enlightened being is not going to just pick you up and take you there or throw you up like we're throwing a piece of stone or rock somewhere. It's not going to happen like that. But you're going to, the method, the skillful mean. If you will liberate, you can liberate this their way or not. But that's up to individual. That you want to liberate or not. That he shows, he or she shows that method, and then up to us, we want to liberate or not.
但连人把啥家里，但亚万那节，也大节就当节，亚万那节个适当个点来插进步，但他说节就拉出来，连人把插进步啥个当节了。ที่ตาเด็กก็ตอบเด็กก็เซมที่ตอบที่เลี้ยงพาที่ตอบแต่กระนั้นที่ทางเราไปอยู่ดีแต่จากเสกสายเย็นเนี่ยโทษก็ว่าถึงเลี้ยงขึ้นรามได้ก็สู้โยกงานราชาชาติที่เลี้ยงภาษาไทยแต่นั้นเพลงที่เด็กเซมก็ตอบเดินทางเขาอยู่ตรงหรือว่าเด็กยิงเด็กก็สู้ชาลีเดิมชาลีเป็นดาวรีเลยมาร่างเด็กก็เซมเลี้ยงภาษาไทยที่เลี้ยงมีแต่เลี้ยงกันมีแต่เพลงนะถ้าดังก็คนทางเขาหรือว่าที่เด็ก
So like the hell realm, hell realm. Not only Buddhist, other religion also talk about hell realm. This is like a common words. There's existence of that hell realm. So then, who are who borns in the hell realm? The beings who slaughter, kill, whether it's the animal, innocent people, whoever. And then how in the hell realm is. How the heat hell or hot hell or cold hell. So there's so many levels of hell in the hell realm. So who are wandering, who need to pay their karmic debt, you can say karmic consequences in the hell realm, need to go through all that. With the anger, killing, destroying, creating all kinds of destructions, bringing suffering, in other words. Then you need to pay the price, right? One way or the other. So it's like that.
ที่เจ้าตาทางคนนี่ไม่ละซาเลี้ยจุ่มเดือดสานที่ร่างกายปากเกวายรบกวนเจียนจังรบกวนโดสามเนี่ยที่สามบาทมันได้โลยี่ทบกคุยดีที่ตางานคือเนี่ยกับเดวายละซานตรงนี้ที่เลี้ยไม่เกวายเช่นบอกส่งกันนะที่เลี้ยไม่เกวายเตะกันที่สมาธิมันท่ามีปาที่ดงหางยองยิบปาที่ดงหางร่างกายโตกันที่ร่างกายโตเลยเพียงแค่ชูจิปานส่วนโรจมีปาตได้ยิบปาที่คิดชัดดูถ้าร่างกายเกเด็กปาลางดูที่ถ้าเขาชุบมาส่งเลยที่จนมาส่งเลยที่ยุนต์ทิ้งสิปาอยู่ที่ถึงได้สิ่งก็คุยดีแต่ตามนี้ร่างส่งไปชุดสังหารโดยเด็กปาละเทเนี่ยต่างกันนางปาสานเจ็บชุบเลยโยเล่นเดือดสมามาอยู่ที่นี่ฉันเนี่ยชุบกันได้ดีเลยชุบตัวที่เจ้าว่าสมาปานโดนรบกับเดี๋ยวนะชุรังติดตัวชุรังก็เลี้ยสัมปะเทกิตบเทรีเดียวดีเป็นนะชุบปานโดนงามใจชาชุรังเลี้ยกิเต็มรามันเดมาเลี้ยชาเลยนะชุบปานโดนทางหุ่นนะปานโดนงามใจชานะชุรังก็ติดเสลามาทิ้งสวรรค์ดับเธอชนะชุรังลามาทิ้งสวรรค์ตัดเสที่เลี้ยที่ทดเตะที่หนึ่งทดเตะลามาลังสังลามาทุกเจสนาจังเล็บทุกคุยดีชุรังละสวรรค์เด็กเกสัมบัติสวรรค์นี้มีชุลามาทิ้งเจสำนักนั้นมีชนะลามาตานี่ส่งเดินชุก็หาโกเลยมาทดทุกคุยมาที่เลี้ยการสันเทรีโดยที่สวรรค์ตัวนั้นเดียวเลยล่ะช Some get some game against some bad and cook back pass on who would have take it that have back go to be a give and take you the day. So now Chimbo Kava de Bari to hear go to Jim Tippy.
So, we need to plan. We need to make our mind pure, like a noble mind, it says. A big mind, not limited mind. So, we need to develop that. And always, you need to put positive contents into your mind. Do not put any negatives. So, we consider ourselves as a Buddhist practitioner. In the Buddhist practitioner, this extraordinary, the Tibetan Buddhists, the Vajrayana practice. It's very, it's called a multiple choice practice. So many options you have. You can practice this way or that way. You have all kinds of options. So you can practice that way. So we all are, the ultimate our goal is to achieve enlightenment state of the Buddhahood. So, like we say, while we are in the dying process, then that will last a very breath. When that stops, then we call ourselves as that's a crops, yeah? Corpse, yeah, corpse, right. Corpse, dead body. The body, like we mentioned that we leave that mundane body eventually. The inherent nature is the impermanence. But then, that comes then when our consciousness enter into the pardo state or the intermediate state. If you plant positive in your mind, you have a great devotion and faith, respect to your teacher or Buddha, or any kind, like Buddha or Bodhisattva, enlightened any beings. So you always think about those great beings, whether you're a teacher or Lama. So then, while you wandering into the pardo state or the intermediate state, your consciousness looking for the next entrance. Excuse me. At that time, you feel scary, all kinds of all in the part of teaching. All those are in detail in the part of teaching. At that time, then you remember your Lama. If you made some sort of a supplication request, prayer to the Lama appears spontaneously right there, and make ease. Lama's appearance is going to ease the fear that you're having at the intermediate state or the pardo state. Where the fear went, because you already organize those qualities you cultivated into your mind way ahead of the time. So that way, that's you're constantly reminding your teachings of your lamas. So it's not doing but just yourself. All the positive, great qualities you cultivated so far into your mind, that is helping you at that during that that cycle. Where you are in the pardo state or the intermediate state.
Then take it that I'm here to pass on how to do the tip by the Yamson in the Gil Kanzaki in the young Taka Tawa or the Tansan, some you that you do. In younger or here the Lord, Jimama in Barta, the Dara will go song Yawuri. In young kid go to Tata, Kovalam in young kid Gokuri, Kova de la Tang, Himpomando, the Tapamando, Timpamando, the Tang Savarida, Savicinida, the Sondo, some near Lord left Gokuri. Did Lord left let your hair get Tuna, did in Talik Taritan and Soon Tunkoyuri, Tal Sovari, see Tunkoyuri. Tango think Lord the Malana, Chula Sanjing get there, let Tokoyuma, you take in the Yuva. Sanjing ya poche matana tinchu tango kunzo sancho samti mahanu tungdang sancho samto tokowa tungdang sancho samto matana ti yang ka bata yu marewa te ta sangha ka nan yu gitla yang tak batawa san chot sem ngin jong ko ta te song la ko tang bo ngin jong la ma ti na san chot sem la ma to san chot sem ma la na yang tak batawa to ma to ka ngin jong la ta ta la ta lo do nan ki de chi go ko tam jo ni ka wan chi chen ma ta pa chi le jum de sin ko ni me chi te ya ko de chi na ni ta ngin jong jo he de ko ngin jong jo he lom na ti chu ge ba la yo nga yu song ko tu ko yo le ba la.
So like we said, this the four thoughts which turns your mind into practice Dharma. It's turning your focus, mind focus, into practice Dharma, So this is like a foundation. If you understand thoroughly, then you are going to have this feeling that you're not going to focus, into unnecessary distractions where you distract for nothing. So you're going to change your mind focus into a virtuous deed, accumulate merit, benefit others, sentient beings, needies, and so forth. So then you also know at the same time, I should not waste, with the samsaric activities, the worldly activities, distractions, creating problems, all this harm, hate, and so forth. So these are a lot of distraction, samsaric, the cyclic existence activities. So you're not focusing onto that. So then, so then you see, you will see, this samsara is, samsara or the cyclic existence is essenceless. There's no essence at all. So then you feel, you feel sad. So there's, you see, so you want to liberate, because the samsara, we talking about samsara's inherent nature is the suffering. Then nobody likes suffering. We all like to get out or try to run away from the suffering, right? We don't want it suffering, but we get it one way or the other, right? So like that. So then when we have that kind of focus, then we are not going to focus too much into samsaric activities or the worldly activities. Then we are focusing more into a liberation state, which is the enlightenment state or the Buddhahood. Then once you get enlightened, you attain the Buddhahood, then you are suffering free, you can say. No more suffering. Rewala. Tene khaya la santa. Mani ko to chega.
Yeah.
Tene ada Kyoshi tene
Ninjong so ta ko wa tan du ko jo che de ko wa san ba jo tene san chou san ko de la da san kha nya mi me da yang da ta wa san chou san Ninjong jo che ti som de ko ko yuri san chou san do de da yin pin ke san ba ko de ba ti san chou san da kun do san chou san dun da san chou san du ni de dang bo kun do san chou san do de lo ju ko ko yuri da ri ko wa le pe sen tin tham tie pha ma je ba je jang mi ba ni pha ma se pe de la na tin chen bo ko jang yu ba xi ni de la ta pha tin zong du de sen de da je de san chou san.
So then we need to develop that bodhicitta. This bodhicitta is a Sanskrit word. Bodhi is the enlightened and chit is the mind. You can say enlightened mind. Then what is the bodhicitta? How we are going to have that bodhicitta or the enlightened mind? The loving kindness, loving kind and compassion. Loving kindness and compassion. That genuine loving kindness and compassion we need to develop within ourselves. That's called the bodhicitta. Bodhicitta or bodhicitta. The altruistic enlightened mind. Then then we have that, then we have unconditional loving kindness and compassion to sentient beings. Right? So that's quality. So that we need to develop within ourselves. Then as a Vajrayana practitioner, we consider ourselves. Then loving kindness and compassion, which is a bodhicitta, that's very important. If we don't have a bodhicitta or the enlightened mind, then we cannot say or we cannot label ourselves as a Vajrayana practitioner. Whether he or she, whoever it is that consider themselves as a Vajrayana practitioner. Without the bodhicitta, you cannot call or say that. That, as a beginner, we need to develop that. It's not like right away you can get that instant realization. You cannot get that bodhicitta, but need to start from the scratch. Chanjogu same Ravala. Then I forgot one. Then when we reach the bodhi, when we talk about bodhicitta, then comes another two thing, that relative bodhicitta and the ultimate bodhicitta. Ravala. So then first we have to have that the bodhicitta. Then we can say, then we can discuss, then we can develop that relative bodhicitta and the ultimate bodhicitta.
Yang tak patawa tu chutam ke tong sing da mi tak tong to thobu khu de wala yang tak pa don ti tawa to norm therma so ba ko norman therma me pa yang tak pa de yang ke de yang tak patawa se ko yang tak patawa tu te ha jara de chutam ke tong sing da mi pa de ma se ke thun je do da ko rang ke cham ke ngo do da tawa do cham ngo ha ko ko cham ngo de ha ko na Darang rang so zen tham che mata ba yin ban thwa yin ba tham che khu rang khok ka pha be de khu ha ko chu no khu yu de ba de chu ne ti khu chen ko ngo ne lok da ha ko yu da yang da ta wa se khu de ba la de khu jie ju te ko ma song ni thur ma song ni den da ke chen khu ne lok ngo tong ni de to go khu yu de ba la.
So then that way, if we develop that perfect view, not contaminated view with contaminating with this afflictive emotions, deluded thought, conceptual thought, and so all that. So not contaminating and recognizing the true inherent nature of the mind. The nature of the mind says, or inherent nature of the mind, the true nature of the mind, whatever we call that. We need to recognize that. So basically, what it's saying is that true nature mind is uncontaminated. It gets contaminated with our very own afflictive emotion and conceptual thoughts. So if we recognize or we have that realization of the perfect true nature of the mind, then we can say perfect realization. Perfect realization or perfect view.
Tin te ke tara yong ji son chango zon lo ju te tara te lo pa ke na ro pa la phen tha ma tin chen dem yong te dun jie ba me pa ma to pa chong ni xin tan phang lo la da ba ma ji na ro pa song lo ju te churang ke ta ho dun jie ba me pa ta yang ta ko ta ba dun jie ba me dun te ma to pa to chu ke cho ni po mi jie su na ka cho ta mi xi to ni po te sa ko khu ri de lan da lo de ma ri song ja wo de wala mi jie do ta ra dan ba som do ju te cho ni do dong da zhe ba ri de dan ho yo ba chen ji dan ba ra yong hua dan ba de mi jie su na ka cho ni de li da ri sa ja jin bo do ba chu o ma chu da ba do go do mi ji mi dan ba do no de o mi xi xi ke cho de ri de li ko dan ba som de na cho ni we du da ri yo ba chen ji dan ba ra yong hua dan ba de ni So
then comes to that, we already discussed the relative bodhicitta, ultimate bodhicitta. Then it comes to that accumulation of wisdom and the accumulation of the primordial wisdom. Like the very beginning, we mentioned that the three quality we need to develop. First the simkit, Mujimingmi, so first the altruistic enlightened mind, and then no visualization, and the third one is the dedication. So the the altruistic enlightenment or the bodhicitta goes with the dedication. The no visualization is, the middle one. The second one is that we discuss about the like Mahamudra, Dzogchen, Madhyamika and so forth. So that this two, that bodhicitta and the dedication goes with the accumulation of the merit. And the second one, that the no visualization associated with those great teachings is the primordial wisdom. Is it clear? Huh? So we are dividing now. So let's say this accumulation of merit and the accumulation of the primordial wisdom. Where originated, where it came from, you can say, for simple English, yeah? So the bodhicitta and the dedication, that the three qualities, the three perfect qualities we mentioned in the very beginning, originated based on bodhicitta and dedication. That's called the accumulation of the merit. And then the second one, we talk about no visualization. Without visualization or no visualization, you can say, like having a complete, perfect realization of Mahamudra, Dzogchen, Madhyamika, and so forth. But that's the primordial wisdom. So then, then you can categorize the accumulation of merit, accumulation of primordial wisdom. Clear? Okay. So this is just a brief discussion about the four thoughts. So we are going to go more deeper when we next couple of days